Today on Catherine Learns Stuff, I'm going to walk you through making this cute toilet paper roll Christmas tree countdown calendar for the holiday season. So let's jump in. As suggested by the title of this video, I need toilet paper rolls for this craft. And when you don't have enough rolls, you can always use paper towel rolls as well. As with all of my projects, I like to sketch out the design beforehand. Our calendar has 24 days on it because we don't do the countdown calendar on the 25th, so there's only 24 spots that I need. This design that I'm using has a star which takes up one spot, and I'm going to actually have an empty spot at the bottom because I don't need it, but if you wanted to do 25, you could use this design for that. And then the spots where I've got X's, I'm actually using no tubes because I need a little bit more space for the treat that goes into those spots. So the first thing I need to do is I need to count out my toilet rolls, and I know I didn't have enough. So I've got some paper towel rolls, which will work just fine, so I'll need to cut them. So I need, according to my calculations, I need 20 rolls, so 12. So I need to get 8 more. These are a little bit longer than toilet rolls, so I can get 2 per, so I need them, each of them cut up. So for this design, if you don't have enough toilet rolls, you can always omit rolls every few spots and then just glue them the best that you can in order to give yourself a little bit more space. But not everyone has a surplus of 24 rolls just floating around. So there's an opportunity to miss spots here and there to give yourself a little bit more space. However, for my design, what we're doing is we are going like so. This is what my design is going to look like. What I'm quickly going to do is I'm going to hot glue these together, and I'm just going to sort of glue the walls together for each section, and then we'll be ready to move on to the next step. Body of my Christmas tree is done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to trace around the body and the walls of my Christmas tree with some wrapping paper. So I'm going to make my Christmas tree look like candy cane. So I'm just going to trace the Christmas tree and then I'm going to have that as the front of my Christmas tree. Now I need 2 of these because I have a front and a back of my Christmas tree, so I will have to do another trace of this as well. Cutting this out, I want to make sure that I'm cutting out a little bit around the edges so that I have a little bit of surplus material available for me. Last thing I need to do with the wrapping paper is I need to cut off a bunch of lengths that are going to cover my whole sides here. So I've got just about 4 inches here on my side of my rolls. So I just need to cut a bunch of 4-inch rolls, and then those will be ready to be glued on as well. Got my side and my front and back for my Christmas tree. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to actually glue on one of the pieces for the back, and I'm also going to glue on after that the edge around the whole Christmas tree. This is so that the candies don't fall out when I'm putting them in later. What I like to do is I like to just use regular kids craft glue
because I find that it works really well for this kind of thing. And I'm just going to put some glue around the edges of my rolls on the top here, and then I'm going to place my top on here. I cut a little bit extra so that I can put some of the edges over the outside, and that way I've got a nice finished look around the tree. The back doesn't need to look perfect because no one's actually going to look at the back. Now that my bottom is glued on, I just need to attach the side piece. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cut it in half so that I've got the candy canes all facing the same direction, and then underneath I'll have an extra piece that will sort of close it all in together. I'm just going to let my Christmas tree dry while I get my star ready. While my glue is drying on my Christmas tree, I'm going to put the star together. So the star I cut out on my Cricut, and the walls for the star I cut out just with a simple paper cutter. They're only 3 inches thick just because I'm running low on cardboard, but you could make them 4 inches thick to be the same thickness as the whole Christmas tree. I'll just make sure to glue it to the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to glue the walls of the cardboard onto the star, and then I'm going to glue them all the way around like so. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bend it all the way around so that I don't have to cut every single piece. A little bit less gluing that way. So I've got my star cut out and my paper folded up. So I'm just going to quickly drop a bead of glue along the edge here so that I can attach my star onto this, and I'm going to do that on both sides. So I glued my star together, and now all that's left to do is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off this extra surplus edges on my tree on the back side because I don't need to actually see it. It just needs to hold the gifts in place. And then once that's done, I'm going to glue on my star, and then I'll get to start filling in all of my treats. So now I'm just going to glue the star up front. As I said before, I was running out of cardboard, so I made it a little bit smaller than my actual tree. So I'm going to glue it up front so that it kind of sits nicely where it's supposed to. Now for the fun part, I get to add in all of my treats. So the first thing I do is I'm going to put in all of my big treats into the tree so that they're taken care of for later. So those are a tight fit, and then I'm going to fit everything else in here to sort of make its way in. That's according to my calculations, so that's it. Now the most important thing is to take a picture of all these candies to make sure that I know where they all belong, especially these large ones because those are my fancy gifts. Now that all the candies are in the tree, I'm just going to quickly add a bead of glue around my star so that I can attach my star front, And then I'm going to attach beads of glue around all the edges here so that I can attach my front face on my tree. When I cut out the initial paper, I left a little bit of an edge. I'm just going to leave that edge on the tree so that it looks a little bit nicer. When you fold it down, it's going to start to look a little bit funny around the edges, and so I'm just going to leave it loose. The one thing that I'm going to do, just with a paper clip, I'm going to punch holes in the slots that will be covered up, but that's going to help break through into the compartments later. Okay, and now that I've got my holes poked, I'm going to put on my decorations. So now that my tree is covered up, I can't actually see where any of the candies are. So that's why I took pictures initially. When I'm adding on my numbers, I will know where to sort of put which ones. These numbers I created, and you can get a free copy of them on my website if you'd like. They're just simple numbers on sort of shapes for Christmas. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to strategically place the pieces that I want to be with my special treats. So 24 Odyssey is up here, but the rest of them are all strategically placed so that they can be nicely enjoyed at certain times. Now that all my numbers are on, I'm going to do one last thing and put on some ribbon at the back so that I can tie this up on the wall. I like to tie my advent calendars up on the wall, but as this one is not level at the back, I'm going to actually attach my ribbon here. So I need a little bit longer of a ribbon so that it makes its way up onto the wall. So that's going to be probably about the right size, maybe trim a little. That's going to be about the right size of ribbon for my project here. I'm just going to throw some glue down and let that cool down. And there you have it, your Christmas tree is done. The one thing that I didn't do on this tree is I didn't add additional color on the outside of the star, but the brown almost falls in line with the yellow, and since the calendars are only looked at really from the front, I don't think anyone's going to notice, but I could have added additional color around the outside of the star to make it a little bit prettier. But that's it. That's the calendar. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also check out all of my other projects on my website located in the details below. Thanks for watching.